Today we are testing the 180 to 600 5.6 to 6.3 new Z lens.
Woohoo!
We're very excited. We're going to be taking some pictures of the local wildlife. We're going to be putting it on the Z8 to see how it performs, and we're going to tell you what we think.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan, Becky.
Good.
Let's do this.
Excellent. This lens weighs 2.14 kilos, 2,140 grams. Apparently the tripod collar is 200 grams, so if you're not going to use it, take it off and save yourself some weight. However, I think that if you are planning to do long stints with this lens, it's worth using a tripod because already I'm feeling it and we've only been out for a short period of time. Or do some weightlifting. Don't be a weakling like me. So this was a perfect scenario for the zoom lens because I was shooting at 600, the swans were very far away, and then suddenly they started to come closer and I needed to zoom out. So now I'm at the 180 end and I can still create nice aesthetically pleasing shots without having to move backwards. This is super useful if you don't have the flexibility of moving. Let's say if you're on safari or if you are in a hide where your position is fixed but the subject may come closer to you. All right, what are your first impressions?
Well, first impression is it is heavy.
Yeah.
So 2 kilos, you can handhold it, you can shoot it, but not for a long time. So we held holding it, we have a tripod foot pointing up, but you can get a monopod and then push the foot down and become a human tripod, you know. Now, this 404.5, which is only 1,250 grams, it's less reach, but feels lighter, definitely more hand-holdable, cost a bit more as well, you know, and it is a prime. But I would say if you are primarily planning to shoot handheld, then maybe 4.5 with a teleconverter is a better choice. Compared to 200 to 500, it feels slimmer, maybe about the same length, but slimmer, and it's also 150 grams heavier. So again, a little bit lighter, but still heavy.
All right, let's talk about build quality.
Feels good.
Yeah?
It's good in the hand. I think it's a good build quality. The zoom ring feels nice. You got autofocus, manual focus switch here. Now we also have full AF area as well as 6 meters to infinity. And again, for bird photography, you probably want to stick it to 6 meters to infinity just to speed up your autofocus a bit. I mean, it's really, really fast on a camera like Z8 and Z9. You won't really notice the focusing speed compared to, let's say, something like 400 or 800 mm lens. So, you know, but yeah, you can use that. There's no VR switch, but distance head vibration reduction is obviously all done via the camera. What I did find interesting for you videographers is actually quite a small zoom breathing. So basically, if you focus on something at 180 and then zoom in all the way to 600, the shift is about a centimeter. So if you're wide open, you will notice that. But if you stop down by 1 or 2 stops, then the depth of field will cover it, which is quite surprising for this type of the lens actually. So yeah, if you want to have those creative zoom effects while you're recording the video, that could be quite useful.
Great.
And now let's talk about macrophotography. I know that some of you are dying to see my macrophotography course released. It's gonna happen anytime soon. Pre-order, stay tuned. It's only about $100,000 for 10 minutes video. Now, let's talk about minimum focusing distance for this particular lens. Now, it's 1.3 meters at 180 millimeters focal distance, and it's 2.4 meters at 600 millimeters focal distance. Not exactly a macro lens, but we'll get you close if you want to. Again, maybe not a flower lens, but I know that some of you will buy this lens for flower photography. We're not here to judge you really, but let's say maybe there are better options available for you.
Aside from the obvious advantage of having a zoom when you are shooting unpredictable subjects, zoom is also really helpful when composing. One thing that I've always struggled when we've done our reviews of long lenses is the fact that if you do have a subject very far away, you are kind of swinging the lens around trying to figure out where it is. With this, at least you can zoom all the way out to 180, you can pinpoint your subject and then zoom in on it. It's a small thing, but when you're doing something like wildlife or something kind of unpredictable, shall we say, that is a small blessing. I have a willing model, so I'm going to do a bit of a comparison here. I'm going to shoot this lovely goose here at 180. Yeah, thank you. And I'm going to shoot you at 600. Very nice. And I'm just going to take a look here at the difference, just for composition purposes. So what I will say is that if you're shooting sort of almost at the closest focusing distance at 600, you do get that lovely separation that you would almost see in a prime lens with a wide fixed aperture like a 600 f4. It's not going to be the same. It's never going to get you the same. And if you're shooting at 180, let's say, you don't get that lovely background blur. But quite a lot is achievable with something like this. Just have to be prepared. Oh, he's having a sit down now.
It's too hot.
You just have to be aware of its limitations when looking for a particular effect.
So you say if you want a proper blur, then get a 600 f4.
Of course, if you've got the funds for it, then sure, but you can achieve a lot with this lens. I would just say don't expect it to perform the same as a prime. One thing that Nikon do allow on this lens is the use of teleconverters. However, apparently, according to their website, depending on the light and the level of contrast and the ambient lighting, you may not get autofocus in all situations. The fact that you can use it means you could take this lens from a 180 to 600 up to a 360 to 1200.
Yeah, so you're going to see Elon Musk on Mars when zooming in.
You can look at the satellites. In conclusion, if you are looking for a lens under £2,000 that will get you a huge range and will cover everything from astrophotography to wildlife to sports, all at a friendly size and budget, then the 180 to 600 is definitely worth considering.
It's another hit from Nikon.
We are going to be comparing it to the 200 to 500 because that is a lens that a lot of photographers we know already have, and we'd love to see how it compares and whether or not it's worth an upgrade. So watch this space for that one.
Stay tuned for another stonking comparison.
And in the meantime, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Right.
Super thanks.
It's super thanks button as well, so hit that if you can.